Now we got one more to go. External gazer. I opened the door to strut B. I went out on the AB connecting bridge. No enemy sighted. Otacon gave me instructions via codec. Listen carefully, Snake. I'll explain again. Our target this time is that mysterious, unidentified monster that's got the whole world in uproar. They call it the Gorilla Gun. What is he talking about? The only ones in uproar are Otacon and Mei Ling, and I bet they're the only ones using that nickname too. That's what I was thinking anyway. But I didn't say anything. Otacon continued, I think you already know this, but do not hurt the target. Take a picture of it before it has a chance to get away. You've made it this far, so don't do anything stupid. My hands were tied. Ridiculous or not, a mission is a mission. I made up my mind, began walking across the AB connecting bridge. Like, am I actively supposed to be looking for it? Yes, I am. All right. I stared in stunned silence at the churning whirlpool the sea had become. The surface of the sea was beginning to rise, no question about it. Something huge was getting ready to make an appearance. My mysterious, ludicrous quest, my so-called monster search mission, looked to be coming to an unexpected conclusion. How did I get involved in this ridiculous mission? It all began 3 days ago. I was testing Otacon's latest invention, the VR system, at Philanthropy's hideout in New York. Oh no, these all bombs. The sound of the bombs won't make me confused about their locations. Don't care so much about ratings here. I mean, it's gotta be across the way then, right? Must be.
What's that?
Wait a second, how do I get over there? It's gotta be on the second floor then. Because... Because I didn't hear anything. Oh, clever. over and find the second bomb. Hey. Alternative mission cleared. Time, bullets, sneaking, no killing bonuses. Then you get a rating. The world disappeared before my eyes as my senses returned to my body. I realized that I wasn't actually on a bomb disposal mission on a tanker. I was sitting in the VR training seat. I pulled off the headset and Otacon turned to speak. That didn't look too good. What happened? I nodded reluctantly. Otacon asked me with pride, "What'd you think about the VR system?" "Not bad." "That's all?" Unsatisfied, he cocked his head. I can't believe it, to tell you the truth. I didn't expect it to work so well. I know the VR system incorporates something called the Copplethorn engine. I just got it the other day. The Copplethorn engine? Hearing the question, Otacon removed his glasses, a smile on his face. The Copplethorn engine is a quantum calculation system that's been getting a lot of attention in certain quarters recently. You know about quantum computing, right? Began Otacon. He went on and on. Qubits this and tensor products that for the next 2 hours and 37 minutes. I regretted my stupidity in having asked. In short, it allows the construction of virtual reality environments containing a hitherto unprecedented amount of information. That information is converted into a signal and conveyed into your brain via the headset, directly synthesizing information for each of your senses while simultaneously cutting off feedback from the actual body. That way it's possible to realize a virtual reality environment that is completely indistinguishable from the real world, down to lights, sounds, even your sense of smell and touch. He took a breather. I couldn't miss my opportunity. I see. I understand now, I said, trying to get up out of the seat, but Otacon stopped me. "Wait a second, let's try it again. The goal of the next scenario will be to eliminate the enemies and secure an escape path for the hostages on Big Shell." I guess Otacon just couldn't wait to try out his new toy. Reluctantly, I took the seat again. Otacon continues his briefing. "Your mission is to eliminate all enemies within a certain period of time. Ready? Here we go." I put the headset back on and closed my eyes. A burst of light flashed through my eyelids. The next moment, I found myself surrounded by a world I could hardly believe was a mere construct. Take out all enemies gets the goal. Yeah, shotgun is powerful. Be careful. 8 enemies.
It's the enemy. I need help. What's going on? What's going on? It's the enemy. It's the enemy. I need help.
Crud.
What's going on? Respond. Is something wrong?
Who's that?
Nice, that's 3 out of 4 there.
Who's there?
And of course I failed. Perfect.
More! Ah! Oh! Ha!
I see, and you can't get any more ammo. Oh, you can. It's just select pickups. I see.
You know what you're doing.
Second? That's not bad. The VR simulation ended. The all-too-real virtual reality disappeared and senses returned to my body. I removed the headset. How was it? I asked Otacon. I told him what I noticed during my 2 trials. It's well done, no question, but it feels kind of unnatural, like something's wrong with my senses. Unnatural? In what way? It's too tough to explain, but I feel like I'm possessing someone else's body. That's because of the pseudo-signal filling your brain. Theoretically, it should be possible to replicate the exact same stimulus as from the sensory structures of your physical body. Midway through my discussion with Otacon, the door opened and in strode Mei Ling. Hey, check this out. Mei Ling threw us the tabloid she brought with her. A monster, a big shell. It was an article describing the appearance of some kind of huge creature near Big Shell. The title shouted a monster, a big shell. Completely ridiculous. So what? I said without hesitation. Mei Ling blinked in surprise. So what? It's a monster, Snake. Otacon hit the table. That's right, it's a monster. That picture has to be fake. It was the most normal opinion in the world, but you wouldn't have known by the way they glared at me. Finally, they simply decided to ignore me. Sounds incredible, doesn't it, Mei Ling? A monster in New York? It's amazing. I agree, it's amazing. Too amazing. So it's a big shell. I want to go and see it. Hey, Otacon, I have an idea. How about catching the monster? What do you say? Great idea, let's get him. It'd be a real boon to biology. No, I take that back. To all of the sciences. That's right. Hey, do you think we could get a lot of customers if we built a monster zoo? Of course. Judging from the dorsal fin, I think this monster must have come from underwater. What do you think? Maybe. What about making stuffed animals or t-shirts? Not bad, but I can't help thinking that it might be a messenger from space, you know? Oh, totally, but we better register a trademark first. They excitedly kept on with what seemed to be a total disjointed conversation. I couldn't believe they were actually considering it, but I had to ask. Hey, I hope you're not serious about catching this thing. Otacon regarded me with utter shock. Wake up, Snake. We're talking about a monster here. Mei Ling kicked a chair. He's right. This is about a monster. But Otacon leaned toward me. A monster of unknown origin has appeared. As a scientist, I can't simply ignore it. Do I have to remind you about philanthropy's financial situation? We don't even know if we have enough to cover our rent this month, snapped Mei Ling, fire in her eyes. But what do you propose instead of catching it? Are you just going to quietly let this opportunity slip by, you coward? But Otacon and Mei Ling kept up their simultaneous tirade as I hesitated. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. At this point, there was nothing to say except, okay. That's the story. So I came to Big Shell. That was 3 hours ago. I contacted Otacon via codec as I entered Strut C. What's up, Snake? Found any clues? Asked Otacon. Negative, but I've seen some strange people wandering around. I told Otacon about the soldiers I'd seen on the CD connecting bridge. Otacon replied, I bet they're trying to get Gorilla Gun, just like we are. I don't think it has to be. He swore with confidence. Anyway, just move ahead without getting caught. Most of the sightings of Gorilla Gun have been southwest of Big Shell, and for the AB connecting bridge. I'd come this far, so there was nothing to do but follow Otacon. I started moving towards the AB connecting bridge.
Who's there?
Perfect. And I hear there is another person.
Is there some... It's the...
Communications with Strut C have ceased. Carry out an investigation immediately.
Alright, I gotta get out of here immediately.
Huh?
Oh, that was close. Lucky break on timing right there. Alright, I'm at strut B. Alright, let's do a quick check in these lockers. M9 ammo. That's something.
Who's that? Enemies.
What's going on? Respond.
Enemy sighted.
Alright, I need to get out of here. Again.
What's going on? Respond.
Didn't even have enough time to pick up that stun grenade, dang it. Anyway, that's the story. Here I am, forced to hunt down a monster, and it looks as though something's about to appear before my very eyes. At this point, there's nothing to do but get ready. Checked over the camera. I have no idea what I'm about to see, but I'm going to shoot first and ask questions later. Oh, it's that thing, I see. I don't see exactly where it's thrashing around at. Oh. Okay, X to zoom back out. Alright. I mean, that's gotta work, right? No? Really?
Good.
Wait, really? Am I supposed to run, or am I supposed to fight? I guess let's fight. Man, the M9 is just not reliable for big gunfights like this. Get out of my way, screamed Olga. She wasn't armed. She didn't seem to be making a move to attack. I began talking to her as I holstered my gun. What are you doing here? Olga smiled a little, but something about her smile wasn't right. She looked so different. She didn't carry the sense of darkness and tragedy I remembered. In fact, she looked like a totally different woman. Don't get too friendly. I'm not the me that you know, and I don't know the me that you do know. What are you talking about? I'm looking for the key to get back to my universe, and that strange creature is it. It doesn't belong in your universe, neither do I. We're from a different place, and your universe is in for trouble, too, if you just ignore things. I just couldn't wrap my brain around Olga's story. I was lost. Grinding her teeth, Olga looked down to the surface of the sea. Damn, he's getting away. Listen, check the VR system. It's allowing you to peek into another universe. That's what's causing all this trouble, shouted Olga as she jumped from the connecting bridge. Wait! I leaned over the railing, but Olga had already disappeared into the sea. Olga's henchmen were jumping into the sea one after the other. I was left on the connecting bridge alone. I couldn't see Girligan anymore. My photo of Girligan sat on the table at the hideout. No sign today? I asked Mei Ling. No, looks like it hasn't shown up today either. It had been a week, no new sightings of Girligan. No one knew where he'd show up next. Maybe he'd never show up ever again, I believed Olga. Didn't seem like she was lying. And what's more, the existence of that ridiculous monster was proof in and of itself. There's no way something like that could live in our world, but it might be possible in another. Otacon brought up a theory about parallel universes. As usual, Otacon gave far more of an explanation than necessary, but in a nutshell, the idea was that rather than a single universe, there were countless universes existing in parallel. That meant that one universe might be exactly the same as mine, except the number of hairs on my chin was off by 1. In another universe, civilization might have sprung from Paramecia. There could even be a universe full of monsters. Otacon thought these universes were supposed to be mutually exclusive, but for some reason, had begun randomly intersecting. That was how the Olga we knew became switched with an Olga from a parallel universe, and how that monster came to be in ours, and Otacon warned that the phenomenon seemed to be progressing as we spoke. But if his theory was correct, we were in for big trouble. For example, it was possible that in an hour I might switch with another version of myself from a different universe. Otacon might have already been switched with a different Otacon. What would happen to us if we switched to a universe, say, where the moon was about to collide with the Earth or something? It was simply impossible to predict what might happen next. Fortunately, the moon hadn't smashed into us yet, or at least not in our universe. Of course, that didn't guarantee we'd be safe tomorrow. How's the analysis of the VR system coming? Otacon shook his head. I'm not getting anything at all. Otacon looked sick when he heard Olga had said that the VR system was the root of the problem. He told me that the Copplethorne engine, the heart of the new VR system, was a quantum computation device designed by Dr. Copplethorne, but the principles behind it remained unknown. He opened the housing, a literal black box, and found nothing inside except some mysterious circuits, clattering gears, and what appeared to be some iron spheres. But somehow it worked. That's probably why it was such a source of excitement for some people. Pseudoscience aficionados had examined the thing, but the only conclusions thus far had centered around the possibility that it had made use of components from UFOs or artifacts from a lost civilization, meaning nobody had figured out what made it tick. And what's more, nobody had ever seen this Dr. Copplethorne himself or herself either. So what was the connection between this mysterious VR system and the collision of the parallel universes? Olga had said that the root of the problem was the VR systems peeking into other universes, but Mei Ling had her own theory. The Copplethorne engine-based VR system wasn't simply constructing virtual reality through its calculations, but managed to get around the wall separating the parallel universes, peering into parallel realities. That satisfied certain requirements in incorporating that information into the VR system's virtual reality construct. Perhaps that observation interference was creating the disturbance of the parallel universes. But that wasn't all, said Mei Ling. Perhaps Olga was searching for the Girligan because it was the cause of the distortion among the parallel universes. The Girligan had become the fulcrum around which space had warped. And if that was true, there would be no way to stop the distortion without getting rid of the Girligan itself, and for that reason we continued searching for the Girligan. We'd lost all trace of the monster and hadn't made any further progress into analyzing the VR system, but the disturbance of the parallel universes might well be continuing. It was possible that some of the universes might even be in peril, and it was equally possible that our universe could follow the same path moments later. We were completely frazzled. Suddenly Mei Ling spoke. If killing Girligan will make things right, there might be a way. What do you mean? Otacon raised his head and Mei Ling began her explanation. If it's true that the VR system can interfere with other parallel universes, why not try killing Grilligan within the VR system? That could mean we're actually killing the original Grilligan, and the Grilligan in our universe could disappear. Isn't that just a little too extreme? Objected Otacon, to which Mei Ling shot back, "We can't just sit back and stare at the photo. We've got to do something. You agree with me, right, Snake?" "I'm not sure," I answered. Her logic seemed extreme no matter how I looked at it. But at the same time, I had the feeling that I'd end up doing it anyway. Doing something for the sake of doing it wasn't the answer. But I had to agree we still hadn't come up with a solution to the problem. A few hours later, I squared off against Grilligan inside the VR system. I believe this is a VR mission as well. Holy crap. How do I kill it? Damn, figure I'd die. Like, this boss isn't necessarily hard, it's just I get very impatient. That's what causes me to lose so much. So let's try this again. Slow and steady here. More potassium, perfect. Kind of cool, some VR targets. Now I think it's just the head now, right? Yep. You know, I'm good on health. I'll take my chance one more time. Ah, Got to use the PSG. Gorilla Gun dead. Gorilla Gun defeated. We turned the VR system off, but somehow I still wasn't convinced. I removed the headset and spoke to Otacon. So, do you think we really did it? Otacon shrugged, looked like he felt the same way I did. Just then, Mei Ling said, of course the mission has succeeded. I saw a wicked smile on her face. We just lost the only way to restore the parallel universes to normal. What'd you say? I said, rising from the seat. Mei Ling responded, there's no question that the Gorilla Gun was the singularity that represented the warp in the parallel universes. But the only way to restore space as we know it wasn't destroying the singularity. The solution was to capture the singularity, perform a counter-unitary conversion via the Koppelthorn engine, thereby dispersing the wave function to its state before convergence. Mei Ling continued, her voice full of satisfaction. Anyway, the disappearance of the singularity means the disappearance of the only method to restore space, too. Who are you? Mei Ling sneered at Otacon's cry. To borrow Olga's words, I'm not the Mei Ling you know. But no hard feelings, okay? I was just following someone's orders to complete a certain objective. Someone? Who? I asked her back. My husband, Mei Ling replied sweetly. I believe he's called Solidus in your universe. Solidus? We screamed without thinking. Mei Ling slowly pointed at a wall and said, oh, speak of the devil. Just then the wall exploded. Debris poured from the gap. Dust enveloped the area, and Solidus Snake, clad in a power suit, stood in the middle. Solidus said to Mei Ling, kept you waiting, huh? Honey, Mei Ling threw herself into Solidus's arms. I dove for Solidus. He fired a missile from his snake hand. A dazzling flash and explosion. I was thrown against the wall. I lost consciousness momentarily. By the time I managed to get to my feet, I saw Solidus cradling Mei Ling and escaping through the hole he'd just blown in the wall. In the end, I couldn't keep up with Solidus. Otacon and I discussed what to do next as we stood in our half-destroyed hideout. If they were telling the truth, we just lost the way to restore the balance of the parallel universes. But there still had to be something we could do. Finally, Otacon spoke. What about Olga? Wasn't a bad idea. The Olga we'd run into at Big Shell seemed to have a good grasp of the situation. She might be able to come up with some kind of solution. There was just one problem. Where could she be? I told Otacon my concerns, and he nodded with confidence. I have an idea. So what's your skill? Asked Otacon. A beautiful black woman with a slender build was sitting in front of us. She was too cheerful. She laughed far too often. I've got, really good luck. Good luck? Is that a skill? You betcha. Somewhat dismissively, I watched Otacon continue questioning the applicant. Otacon had placed an ad entitled Wanted Gorilla Gun Search Team members in the city's main newspaper the other day. Let's catch the mysterious monster with our own hands. We have credible information about where the creature will appear. Experience plus. Details to be discussed during an interview. Unbelievably, quite a few people had shown up. We'd already met with more than 10 people, but there was still no sign of Olga. We'll contact you later. I really look forward to hearing from you. The woman stood up, gave him a good big smile, and left. Said to Otacon, do you really think this is going to work? She has to be on the lookout for information about Gorilla Gun. She'll show up. But all we've gotten so far are weirdos, like that old man whose skill was backflips and sliding, and yeah, he was funny. Hey! Obviously, Otacon was getting a kick out of the whole scene. Relax, let's wait a little bit longer. Next, yelled Otacon. The door opened. Lo and behold, in walked Olga. Back in the remains of our hideout, we explained the situation to Olga. After hearing our full account, Olga told us that there was still a way out. It's true that the Gorilla Gun singularity might have been erased, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of the singularities in all the parallel universes have been. A glimmer of hope flashed through Otacon's eyes. You mean there are other singularities? Most likely, but their forms and locations in the parallel universes are unknown. They won't be easy to find. We have some data about Gorilla Gun. If we analyze its patterns, scan the vicinity of the strange attractor with VR, maybe we can... Otacon and Olga continued their technical discussion. The end result, said Otacon, was settling on a method to find the singularities of other parallel universes by continuously and finally adjusting the wave function parameter of the VR system to mimic the unique pattern generated by singularity. In other words, it looked like I'd have to make it through a series of VR constructs. Preparations were made faster than expected. I returned to the seat of the VR system. Otacon said, I'll tell you as soon as I locate a singularity. Till then, I want you to continue clearing VR stages, but be careful. I don't think Solidus will just take this sitting down. You may run into traps. Stay alert. Otacon initialized the VR system. Virtual reality spread before my eyes. Huh. Okay.
There's somebody there.
Ah, crud. Thought that would be faster and quicker. No, it was not.
Is there somebody there?
I mean, if I'm good enough, could I really cheese it? I wonder. Alright, look. I was gonna play it the way they want me to. I still screwed up. That would have gotten me there too. That's the sad part.
There's somebody there.
I'm gonna skip a lot of these attempts here. That should offset his pattern.
You know what you're doing.
Excellent. Located any singularities? I asked Otacon. No, not yet. Echoed Otacon's voice through the VR construct. Let me try a different setting. I'm getting ready. Hold on a minute. I was left alone in the virtual reality. You must figure out how to find singularities using VR, Snake. But you won't find one. Boomed a voice suddenly from out of nowhere. It was Solidus. I called Otacon. Otacon, it's Solidus. I know I detected him from my end, too. He's hacking into the VR system, but he hasn't gotten full control yet. Let's hurry into the next VR construct. Are you ready? A new VR space spread in front. A new VR space spread in front of my eyes. Weapon, handguns, trail targets, and head to the goal. Just gotta get through these, don't need to be perfect.
Great.
How are you doing, Otacon? I asked empty air. Otacon's voice answered, I detected a likely pattern, but it's too far away. Change the settings of your variables and aim for a higher score. Let's try again. I squared off. It looked like I had to get a higher score this time. The VR simulation began again. I see, okay. So, more accurate and faster.
Great.
Still at the bottom. Still at the bottom, really? I'm like just shy of actually getting second. Yep, restart that one. Missed shots immediately take away from it. Crud. Now that I'm trying to hurry it, I'm doing a lot worse.
You know what you're doing.
Please be enough. Please be just enough. Thank you. How are you doing, Otacon? I asked empty air. Otacon's voice answered, we're getting a lot closer. I'll get ready for the next setting. As soon as I nodded, I heard Mainling's voice. They're doing a lot better than we expected, aren't they? Indeed, we better change our strategy. We're going to have to somehow block the singularity so they can't get any closer, answered Solidus's disembodied voice. How about using them? It's too dangerous. Even if they did stop Stank, it'd be pointless if the world was destroyed in the process. True enough, using them has to be our last resort. Everything is in your hands, honey. Their voices were a lot clearer than before. They were definitely getting closer. I yelled to Otacon, Otacon, it's Solidus. I know, their intrusion is progressing. We have to find the singularity before they get full control. Let's go. Take out enemies and get to the goal. Taking them out by jumping back up from hanging or jumping down on them is effective. Okay, good to know.
Is there somebody there?
I see no alerts. Please let that
You
be
know
good
what you're
enough.
doing.
I hope. Second, so I think it is. Yes. Otacon, if you sighted a singularity, I asked from inside the VR, pick up a reaction, hurry to the next goal. Honey, Snake is, I heard Mei Ling click her tongue. I heard it as if she was whispering to me. Solidus answered, I know, it may be time to use them. Get ready. Roger that. I heard Otacon's excited voice. Come in, Snake. Solidus is taking control of the VR system. We don't have much time. Let's begin. Not being spotted. Okay.
Is there somebody? Is there somebody there?
Okay, I think I see a good way to proceed then. Okay. I have to worry about timing on that guy. Gotcha. I mean, to be fair, these can actually help you get a lot better, but they are quite challenging.
Is there somebody there?
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, as long as it's not bottom of the barrel. Perfect. There was nothing there. There was no light, no sound, no feeling of temperature or even of height. Was this a singularity? I called Otacon, but it was Solidus who answered. You're in what's called, how can I put this so you can understand it, a gap between parallel universes. Solidus, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to destroy the universe? I screamed. Destroy? Don't be stupid. This is a correction. Back to how things should be. What do you mean? I don't know who created the Copplethorne engine, or where, or when, or even why, but my guess is that it was designed as part of a grid computing system spread between the parallel universes. Grid computing, I heard the term from Otacon. It was a technique for creating a networked supercomputer with massive computational abilities by connecting numerous servers. If one could be built spanning across countless parallel universes, it would be possible to obtain near limitless computing power. But when the universe-spanning Copplethorne engine was applied to the VR system, it became a device for controlling possibility itself, Solidus continued. Controlling? That's correct. When a VR system using the Copplethorne engine is instructed to build a virtual reality, having a given set of conditions, it selects a group of universes having the potential to satisfy those conditions from among a still indefinite number of parallel universes that still have wave functions that have not converged. It then presents these as the VR construct you see before you. What you call VR training is nothing less than the external observation of and interference with that group of parallel universes. I recalled the bizarre sensation of possessing another person's body when I was engaged in VR training. I suppose that was the sensation of interfering with another universe, Solidus's voice echoed. When you go through VR training, your actions within virtual reality are reflected in a set of corresponding universes. The resulting interference simultaneously acts as observation with regards to a group of still indefinite parallel universes besides the one that is receiving the interference. That means that the possibilities of the universe converge on the conditions corresponding to the actions you took. For example, let's say you just killed an enemy soldier within the VR simulation. That means that the universe containing the killed soldier was observed and made definite. In other words, universes where that soldier had not been killed lose their indefinite potential and are erased from existence, Solidus continued. The only universe permitted to exist in the end is the one that doesn't contradict the actions you took in the VR simulation. Do you realize what this means? When your game is over in the VR system and you try again, the potential for existence for that very universe is denied, and eliminated as never having existed. That means that every single time you replay the game, an uncounted number of universes are destroyed. I was in total shock. The disturbance of the parallel universes you've seen is a distortion generated by external interference. I suppose you could see it as the death cries of the universes that have been killed off. The singularities are a condensed form of that distortion. I had a flashback of Olga, the Gorilla Gun, and Mei Ling. If this disturbance had really been caused by external interference, that means my own universe is receiving interference from VR systems and other universes. Of course. Haven't you ever felt like your body wasn't your own? Like you took an unexpected action after the fact? Or you were able to do something you didn't think was possible? That's because of interference from other universes. Perhaps the reason you were able to topple Shadow Moses is because of a helping hand from someone in another universe. Solidus' laugh echoed through the space. Through my research into parallel universes, I learned that I was killed many times in different worlds. I decided to protect myself. I refuse to recognize any universe where I'm killed, and that's why I decided to make things right with the VR system. I interfere with other parallel universes using the VR system and control them such that I won't die there. I don't care how much of a disturbance I create or how many contradictory universes are eliminated. The only thing that's important is my survival, period. That's crazy. Do you really have the right to criticize me? Haven't you refused to recognize your own failures within the VR simulation by retrying a level again? Solidus laughed at my lack of a comeback. This conversation is over. I won't give up the singularity, and I can't let you restore the universes that I have corrected. So I'd like you to stay here forever, he spat. You're going to regret forcing me to break the seal. They will be here soon, a loathsome unit. Infamous and unaccountable universes, hated and feared by all. Their presence alone has the ability to destroy a world. They are children of darkness, and on whom is focused the combined hate of the entire universe. The Princess of Hell and the Prince of Chaos. Allow me to introduce Rose and Jack. Dazzling light enveloped everything. Very meta with the things he was talking about. Jack, Earth to Jack. Rose leaned over the table. She cocked her head and looked into my eyes. What's wrong? You looked out of it. I gently stroked Rose's hair. I was enchanted by your eternal beauty. Very funny, Jack. Rose became as bashful as a little girl. I'm being serious. Rose touched my hand. Do you remember what day tomorrow is? What, March 21st? Yeah, of course. It's the luckiest day of my entire life. The day I met you, I said. Wrong. Really? Yep. Rose puffed out her cheeks. I'm sorry, I think of how lucky I am to have met you every day, so I always think of the anniversary as being right around the corner. That doesn't exactly make sense, but I'm happy to hear it anyway, smiled Rose. By the way, your mission this time is to defuse all bombs. Good luck. My vision darkened. Just then, I thought I heard someone calling me from far away. For some reason, the voice seemed very familiar. Snake, that's Solidus' trap. Wake up. So are we playing as Snake, playing as Raiden? Or Jack, I should say?
Communications with the first floor of the Shell 2 core have ceased. Carry out an investigation immediately.
Enemy personnel on board. All units, maximum alert.
Send the replacement guard for the area.
Oh no, it's in the room, isn't it?
Officers of the first floor of the Shell 2 core exercise extreme caution.
You know, I'm better off restarting, actually. And now let's immediately put the bomb here, then. Or at least I thought it was. Oh, okay, it was just like high enough and tucked in enough that I couldn't see it.
Who's there? Enemy sight.
Need some help here.
You know, as long as this is passing, I don't care.
Jack, you're great.
It is. Awesome. I'm smack in the middle of the battleground on a mission. The roar of cannons and gunfire punctuate the darkness. Conditions are unbelievably harsh this time around. No one on either side is without injury, and the bodies of the dead lie sprawled everywhere. It's hell on earth. I instinctively duck, feeling a bullet cut through the air inches away. Just then, the codec rings. It's Rose. Do you want to... Jack, what happened to the mission? I'm in the middle of it. Oh, that's right. What is it? Rose hesitated for a moment before she spoke. Jack, I need to talk. Talk? Yes, it's very important, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Why is she telling me now about something she wants to discuss tomorrow? Confused, I put the question to her. Why not now? Rose eagerly said, Alright, I'll tell you, Jack. I'm carrying. A heavy silence filled the air. Finally, Rose seemed to make up her mind. I think I'm gaining weight. I'm getting love handles. What should I do? What should you... I didn't notice at all. Really? But my old skirt is getting kind of tight on me. If it really bothers you that much, why don't you start working out? I'll even join you if you like. That's great. How about jogging? Oh, before I forget, your mission this time is to hold up all the enemies and get to the goal. Good luck. My vision darkened. Just then, I thought I heard someone calling me from far away. For some reason, the voice seemed very familiar. Snake, get out of Solidus's trap.
Freeze! Huh? Is there somebody there? Freeze!
Oh yeah, I remember doing that.
Jack, you're great.
Those ones are pretty fun, actually. Rose and I were having dinner at a riverside restaurant. Rose was beautiful this night as usual. A bit of wine had made her already cute cheeks all rosy. Just as the main dish was being served, the Colonel ran up to the table. Raiden, something happened to me last Thursday. Colonel, what's wrong? Were you abducted by aliens again? The Colonel became upset. Aliens? What the hell? There's no such thing as aliens. I highly disapprove. What is it then? Making a visible effort to calm himself, the Colonel began his story. Listen carefully. There's a barley field behind my house. Thursday night, I saw something. Many things flashing in there. When I went into the field the next morning, I discovered that the stalks of barley had been flattened into huge circular patterns. They were very complex. What do you think? Huh? I was at a loss for words, but Rose answered on my behalf. You know, I think it's some kind of a message. The Colonel said in a shaky voice, I thought so. I guess I'll need some scissors then. Anyway, your mission this time is to destroy all targets and head to the goal. Stay focused. My vision darkened. Just then, I thought I heard someone calling me from far away. For some reason, the voice seemed very familiar. Snake, you're caught in Solidus's trap. Get out of VR mode. Oh, that's right. I think you do actually have to get to these different levels. Oh no. They're precise. I hit the little green diamonds there. This is probably going to be a failure. Because I've missed so many shots, have so little combo. Please be enough, though? Maybe? Not even. Oh no. Got the lowest one. Maybe? Rose and I were taking a walk in the park early one afternoon. The sunlight filtered down through the treetops. We walked to a pond and sat down on a bench. As I put my arm around Rose, somebody jumped out of the pond with an odd squeal. It was Vamp. Pulling out a knife, he threw it directly at us. Protecting Rose with my body, I drew my gun and shot down the knife. I continued firing. A bullet struck Vamp between the eyes, knocking him to the ground. But groaning slightly, he stood back up again. Heard Rose's trembling voice. I don't believe it. How? Licking a trickle of his blood with his long tongue, Vamp replied, I died once already, I can't die twice. Rose nodded. Well, I guess it can't be helped then. Squealing again, Vamp lunged toward the pond, landing directly on the pond's surface. He ran across while yelling, "Your mission this time is to take out all enemies and get to the goal. Go now!" My vision darkened. Just then, I thought I heard someone calling me from far away. For some reason, the voice seemed very familiar. "Snake, get out of VR. Turn it off. Exit." That's clever. I was enveloped in an overpoweringly bright light. The next moment, I was thrown into a huge space with a mysteriously lit floor surface. I could hear Otacon's voice. "Snake, Snake, are you okay?" I shook my head to clear a mild headache. It felt like I'd been dreaming for a long time. "I've completely retaken control of the VR system from Solidus," says Otacon excitedly. "That's good, so where's the singularity?" "I found it, it's there. You're in the singularity. Now we can start returning the universe to normal." Just then, I felt something huge closing in from the front. A Metal Gear ray emerged from the darkness. Then a second one, then more right after the others. Otacon screamed, "It's Solidus' final attempt to stop us. Solidus' final attempt to stop us. I need a little more time to finish things on my end. Just hold on for a little bit." The Metal Gear ray units closed in. I squared off against them. I have to fight until Otacon finishes work. Well, so far so good. As long as I keep the pattern. I forgot one jumps on top, or onto this thing. Oh no, more misses. What? Alright, I did that during the main story. It was not nearly that hard. Didn't move again. Crud. bad so far. Curious as to how many I have to take out here. And that's still not the end of this. Holy crap. When I came to, I once again found myself in what Solidus had called the gap between the parallel universes. I heard Otacon's happy voice from somewhere. Snake, we did it. Everything went perfectly on my end. Space has begun to repair itself. Exactly like it was supposed to. I spoke to thin air. Should be. You should be pulled into our universe soon, but it looks like the repairs are occurring subsequently. Could be some time before everything goes back to normal. Snake, echoed Solidus' angry voice. There's a flash of light. When I opened my eyes, I found myself standing atop the destroyed Federal Hall along with Solidus. Solidus drew his sword. I said, just stop it. Oh, it's over. The universe is repairing itself. No, it's not over. If I manage to kill you here, at least one universe where I survive will be made definite. Stop it. There has to be another way. I'm returning to my universe. I have no intention of interfering with yours. There's no reason for us to fight. But Solidus merely laughed at my words. Readying his swords, he fixed me with a piercing, menacing stare. Enough talk. Fight me. Oh no. So it's this fight, but even tougher. Of course, he wouldn't give me a sword. Why would he be fair? Why? Well, I guess as long as I keep on the move. Come on, swing at me. Or do that, that's fine too.
What's wrong with you?
Please keep his testicles on the whole time.
Die!
When he takes him off, he's pretty darn quick.
Is that the best you can do? Die!
Oh, crud.
Take this! Is that the best you can do? Let's go. Over here.
No way.
Let's go. Die. Over here.
And I died from being on fire. Of course I did.
Is that the best you can do? Take this! What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Let's go. What's wrong with you? Let's go. Take this! Over here! Hey! Over here! What's wrong with you? Die! Over here! Let's go! Over Let's go! Over here!
Finally. That took way more attempts than possible. I just had to really slow down for it. Solidus tumbled from the roof of Federal Hall. I threw my hand out for him, but caught nothing but air. Solidus's body fell in silence. I couldn't do anything but watch. The moment his body hit the ground, I was enveloped in a blindingly powerful light. When the light cleared, I found myself in the hideout. Otacon and Olga stood right in front of me. Otacon raised his hand. "Hi, welcome back, Snake." "Your return could mean that I'll be next to go," said Olga. "We'll miss you." "We'll miss you." Olga smiled gently. "I'll miss you too, but I have to go. There's somebody I want to see. Your kid?" Olga looked at me in surprise. "What? I don't have any children. Not yet." She lowered her eyes as if embarrassed and said, "My husband is waiting for me." "Husband?" Otacon and I exclaimed in shock. "That's right, my universe." I quickly interrupted her. "No, we'd probably be better off not knowing." Olga smiled broadly. A bright light enveloped her body and she was gone. Otacon said sadly, "She's gone." "Yeah, but now that I think of it, the snake standing in front of me seems different from the snake I know from my universe." It was just as Otacon said. In an unaccountable number of parallel universes, there had to be some that were incredibly similar. We hadn't felt anything out of the ordinary, but it was possible that Otacon in front of me was a millimeter taller than the Otacon I knew, or maybe he didn't like dogs. Perhaps his father was still alive. The memories we thought we shared might have been erased from existence, but there's no way to check for sure. As I stood engrossed in thought, Otacon extended an open palm. "The snake in my universe owes me $100. Ignoring him, I said, "The Otacon from my universe wouldn't be angry even if I told him I accidentally broke one of his action figures." Otacon's eyes widened in shock. "What? Which one did you break?" I let out a laugh. Soon both of us were laughing. We realized something. We might not have the same shared memories, and perhaps we'd be going to different universes shortly. But one thing was clear. We were friends. The world filled with bright light. Otacon and I shook hands. When I came to, I was sitting in a chair in the hideout. I looked around the room. It was the same hideout as ever. There was no trace of the damage Solidus had caused. Had I returned to just before the whole incident even happened? My path of vision crossed with Otacon, who was sitting across from me. "Did we come back?" asked Otacon. Judging from his tone of voice, it seemed he'd been through a similar experience to mine. But there had to be an uncountable number of universes where nearly the same thing had occurred. I didn't know if this Otacon had been in the same universe with me, and there was no way to check, but I didn't really care. The person sitting right in front of me was Otacon. "It's all over," said Otacon, stretching. Something occurred to me, and I said, "Are you sure?" "What do you mean?" "I just wonder if it's really over yet." I told Otacon about what I couldn't get out of my head when I faced Solidus at the end. I really hadn't wanted to fight him, but I did fight him, and I killed him. It was as if I hadn't been in control of my own body. Solidus said the Copplethorne engine in the VR system interfered with the parallel universes, but what if he was wrong? Or what if there was another device that allowed one to externally observe and interfere with a parallel universe? "You're thinking too much," Otacon said, laughing it off. "And anyway," he leaned towards me, "did you say you broke one of my action figures?" "No, Suddenly the door opened and in walked Mei Ling. She looked like nothing had happened to her at all. "Hey, check this out." Mei Ling threw us a tabloid she'd brought with her. A monster at Big Shell.
The human race is about to slide back into the endless arms race of that last century. And we cannot afford to play that Russian roulette again. It is yours to guard. We are here today to flush out and rid our country of these corrupting forces. That is our mission. You will bear that in mind. It is an undeniable fact that there is a force at work in our government and within the military, seeking to control national affairs to suit its own interests. Metal Gear Ray bears the burden of confronting this party, thwarting their plans and guiding this nation back to its original path. The future of the country rests with you tonight. I have a daughter. It is my greatest wish never to have her or her children experience the horror of nuclear war. As a father, I want to leave a better world for the future generation. As a soldier, I know that is my duty. Trust.
Alert mode 12 times. 34 continues just in this one alone. Well, we did all 5 snake tails. Perfect. Did I get a trophy or anything? Nope. But of course. Now, I am curious if the VR missions actually... We'll just hit, like, A here. 1-1, UK. Just because I want to check. Okay, so it did not count towards these. Good to know. Yep. Besides the VR missions and, like, the boss survival, I think that's it. And that wraps up Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty on Master Collection Vol.1, PS5. Now, Snake Tales I thought would take only 2 hours, took a lot longer, took 7.5 hours of recording. Well, I'm going through and editing to try to make it all more condensed. So it's ended up being in multiple parts. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely leave a like if you did and you enjoyed the side content. And with that, we'll be moving right into Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater before Delta comes out. Till then, hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. Have a great day.